was ever such a dolt as you, brother. I can scarce forgive myself for all the advice I have thrown away on you. Why will you not confide in me for the management of your niece? You have now undone everything that I have brought about. English women, I thank heaven, are no slaves. We're not to be locked up in our rooms like the Spanish and Italian wives. We're to be convinced by reason, not governed by force.
Certainly. I am to blame.
Oh, yes, you are to blame, brother. And I have often been obliged to tell you so. However, I hope you will gather much experience from past blunders. And if you promise to interpose no more, I will, out of regard to my niece, undertake to manage the whole business.
Right.
Love, in the polite world, is at present entirely laughed at. Now, my brother is resolved immediately to conclude the treaty with Mr. Blifil, and I have promised your concurrence.
Indeed, madam. This is the only instance which I must disobey both yourself and my father.
What objection can you possibly have to the young gentleman?
A very solid objection, in my opinion. I hate him.
Hate? Ha! By hatred, you mean no more than dislike, which is no sufficient grounds against marrying him. I have known many couples who've entirely disliked each other, lead very comfortable, genteel lives.
I, madam, shall never marry a man I dislike.
Oh, this is such out-of-fashion, romantic nonsense. The very imagination of it is shocking.
I am resolved against him, madam, whatever the consequences.
Your feelings, mistress, are of the least importance. This is not a match between two persons, but an alliance between two great families. And you ought to have a greater regard for the honour of the Westons than for your own person.
I hope, madam, that I shall never do anything which might dishonour my family. But I will not marry Mr. Blifil.
Damn me, if you won't. That's all I say. That's all I say! Damn me if you won't!
It is astonishing, brother, that you should interfere in a matter that you had left totally to my negotiation.
Hawks! You're enough to conquer the patience of the devil!
As for your manners, brother, I tell you they deserve a cane. It is your preposterous conduct which has taught her such disobedience.
She was obedient to me before you took her in hand and spoiled her, filling her head with a pack of damn court notions.
And it is by living here with you that she has learnt these romantic notions of love and nonsense. I despise you beyond expression.
You may kiss my ass with your expressions. Blood, it's like to make my own daughter undervalue me.
Believe me, no one could undervalue such a boor.
Boar? I am no boar.
And I am now convinced that there is no other way to succeed with my niece but by violent methods.
Madam?
By which I mean rather hasty measures, firm measures.
I shall on no account be accessory to forcing a young lady into marriage contrary to her own will.
However, if the end proposed is religious, as surely matrimony is, the means are quite irrelevant.
Yeah. On the contrary, sir, the end is immaterial so long as the means are consistent with moral philosophy.
I promise you, sir, I would not myself, for any consideration, no, not for the whole world, consent to marry this young lady if I were not persuaded she has all the passion for me which I desire.
Passion with a pox! Women never give their consent if they can help it. If I had stayed for her mother to give her consent, I'd have been a bachelor to this day. You shall have her tomorrow. Damn me if you shan't. Damn me if you shan't. You jolly dog.
Very well.
What does your ladyship think? To be sure, it must certainly surprise you, aye, and shock you too.
Dear Honor, there are very few things which can surprise me, and fewer yet which can shock.
Well, ma'am, I just overheard my master talking to Parson Supple about getting a licence this very night. And to be sure, I heard him say that you were to marry Mr. Blifil first thing tomorrow morning.
The wedding breakfast is set forth in the parlour. There, come in, parson, come in, philosopher.
Madam Sapphire is, I regret to say, not to be found.
Not to be found? Souls and damnation! Blood and fury! Where, when, who, how, what? Not to be found!
Ah, brother, you are always throwing yourself into such violent passions for nothing. To be sure, my niece has only walked out in the garden. I protest you are grown so unreasonable. It is impossible to live in the house with you.
Nay. If that be the matter, it signifies not much.
Madam Sapphire is not to be found in the garden either.
Brother, this is all your own doing. You have nobody to thank but yourself. Why would you interfere? You know she has been educated always in a manner directly contrary to my advice. Now you see the consequences of such indulgence. You must comfort yourself that it was all your own doing. I have nothing to answer for. And I have taken such pain to rectify your errors in judgment and in policy. How often have I told you? Had I been trusted entirely with this affair?
Sister, kiss my hand! Sophie! London! I've unkennelled the bitch!
So remember, you're in the house of a great lady. Let me beg you to mitigate your wrath. You should minister a fullness of satisfaction that you have found your daughter. For as to revenge, it belongeth not unto us, but unto the Lord.
I'll forgive her. If she will have him, if thou will have him, Sophie, then I'll forgive thee. Oh!
I entreat you, sir, to be more moderate. You frighten the young lady so that you deprive her of all power of utterance.
Power, mine! You take her part, then, do you?
I assure your worship, I meant no such matter. Humbly craving your pardon.
There, my lady cousin, there lies the most undutiful child in the world. Sophie! Sophie. When you were no bigger than a tickle hen, the sound of your voice brought more pleasure to my ears than all the fantastical howling of my dogs. And now she hankers after a rascally beggar and won't marry the greatest match in all England that we provided for her.
Indeed, Mr. Weston, I am sure she will not refuse what is so much to her advantage.
You hear that, Sophie? Oh, your family for the match.
Though I have not the honour, sir, of being personally known to you, yet as I find, I have the happiness to have my proposals accepted.
Who the devil are you?
Sir, I'm Lord Fenimore, and am the happy man whom you have done the honour of accepting as a son-in-law.
You're a son of a bitch, for all your lace coat. I'll be damned with you.
I shall take more from you, sir, than from any man, but I must inform you, I am not used to hearing such language without resentment.
Resent mine ass. I'll give thee meddling with what doth not belong to thee. I'll lick your damn coat! Come back!
Very well, sir. I shall make no disturbance before the ladies. Your humble servant, Lady Bellison.
Bless me, sir, what have you done? You know not whom you have affronted. He is a nobleman of the very first rank and fortune, and today made proposals to your daughter, which I am sure you must accept.
Oh, no! I want nothing to do with your lord's cousin. No. I have pitched on an honest country gentleman for son-in-law, for his estate lies next to mine, and I shan't marry my daughter to strangers or foreigners. I'm sorry for all the trouble she has given your ladyship with all my heart, and I bid you good night. I never let you out of my sight again. I promise thee.
Your ladyship, master!
I'll have no undutiful wenches in my house. 'Tis well for thee thou art a woman, or thou shouldst take a dance in the duck pond, I promise thee.